Hey, small group leaders. Today I've got the small group prompt for Sunday, July 19th. And this is the day that we're having on-campus worship for the first time in 4 months. So I've picked a text to preach from about when the Jews came home from exile and saw the first temple. And that's in Ezra chapter 3, verses 10 through 13. So I'm going to ask you to be ready to read that and share that in small group this week to continue the conversation, and also Psalm 139, especially the first 16 verses, and then the last 2 verses are kind of the main part of that reading, Psalm 139. And there's a few other scriptures in the sermon too that you can refer to if you want, but those are the main ones for the prompt. So here's an icebreaker for you. What is the most memorable large crowd that you've ever been a part of? Was it a sports event, concert, graduation, a convention of some kind? Think back to the event, its memories, its sounds, emotions, the feelings that you had, what you were doing, where you were seated or standing. Was it positive, negative, happy, frightening? Did you feel safe or in peril? Was it exciting? Just give a brief description of why it was so memorable and formative to be part of that crowd, that large crowd. So that's the icebreaker. Here's 3 going deeper questions. Reread the Ezra 3, 10 to 13 passage about the weeping and the joyous shouting of the Israelites. And now discuss as many reasons for these 2 responses as possible. In fact, think about all of the nuances of the different kinds of weeping and joyous shouting. And think outside the box. Go ahead and even be silly with this, and then maybe get more serious as you go, but think outside the box. Every answer is a good answer. What memories might the Jews have had in mind? What hopes, what fears, what frustrations, what characteristics of God were they celebrating? What promises of God were they remembering? Who do they see themselves as a people now? What have they learned from exile? There's no wrong answers here. This is just us imagining, along with the text of Scripture, the wide range of emotions and memories that might have been in mind. So brainstorm together. Okay, the second one. For humans, the cumulative sound of the weeping and the celebrating blends into this one seamless, indistinguishable noise in that passage. But Psalm 139, and you can go ahead and reread that reading if you want, teaches us that God is present at every minute moment and place in history. That means that in every specific memory, fear, hope, joy, that for the Israelites is just noise, God hears and knows the specific and exact experience of each person's worship, of each person's pleas, of their cries, of their praise. How is this way of thinking about God's omniscience, his total knowledge, helpful to you? How does this help you think about what it means that God is all-knowing? Okay, and here's the third and final going deeper question. When Jacob's eyes, in Genesis chapter 28, when he has his dream of the ladder, when Jacob's eyes are opened to God's ever-presence and God's all-knowing, he turns this rock that was his pillow into a pillar, a sanctuary. He sees that any place is a cathedral. The house of God is his term for it. When have you had a moment like this in your walk with God? When has he opened your eyes to his loving presence in a startling way, in a fresh way? Who was there? What was happening? What was being said? What did God do to show you his love, his plan, his commitment? Did he help you learn anything? And if so, what was it? Okay, so there's our prompt for this week. I hope that it launches lots of great discussion, and I'm hoping the pastoral effect of this week's sermon and this prompt for the church is a reminder that in all of our diverse experiences of coming back together and of still being in pandemic, that God is present, that he's with us, he's loving, he has a plan, and that we can be listening and we can be learning with him. So I hope it has that impact, and I hope it blesses you. Love you all, and hope to see you soon. God bless.